Hi, this is the 13th Wolfman, and I do some reviews for the. I do some reviews on my page or my channel, and a lot of you might be thinking that, well, he pulls a lot of older films, The Hills Have Eyes, and stuff like that. So I'm gonna leap into the 21st century, and I'm gonna pull a movie. It's not 100% brand new. It's been out for a few years, more than a few years. I think it was 2004. Not sure. 2000 and where is it? Wow, 2002. It's almost a decade old. Who knew? This movie came out obviously in 2002, and it was a hit. It was a big hit with people like me and you and everyone else that watches these movies, with horror fans alike. It really had a virtually unknown cast, and it was not shot in the U.S. So, I mean, it was another horror import, which I'm fine with. I'm good with that. But let's get around to what I'm talking about. I'm talking about 28 Days Later. Cillian Murphy, Naomi Harris were in this movie, and it was brought to us by Danny Boyle. I had two names in my head, and I wasn't positive which one it was. I almost said Danny Blousman, but Danny Boyle. Danny Boyle did a great job of coming up with an original idea when it came down to this film. I'm gonna get this off my chest right here, right now, and just point it straight out. This movie is not a zombie film. I know a lot of people want to call it a zombie film, but this is not a zombie film. This is a virus film. This is Outbreak with Dustin Hoffman. Just to the nth degree. Instead of them saving the little town in Outbreak, this is what happened afterwards. I'm not saying this is a sequel, but I'm just saying this is when the contingency plan didn't work out, So this is a virus film. Virus film gone very wrong. The virus is called a rage virus. And all it does is it jacks you up. You get bit by something that has the rage virus, it gets in your bloodstream, you get jacked up and you get mad. In order for it to be a zombie film, people from the dead have to come back to life. This is something that's always bugged me. I mean, I used to hear people all the time talking about how this is the greatest zombie film ever. And I'd be like, it's not a zombie film. But, yeah, it's just, I love the idea of this crazy virus that just caused people to go nuts, and just, they were so pinned up with rage that they just wanted to beat you to death. And then once they beat you to death, they wanted to beat you even more, It was just kind of funny. Cillian Murphy did a great job in this movie. It was kind of, the very beginning, I'd say the very first 20 or so minutes is kind of eerie because, the monkeys get out, the guy wakes up in the hospital, there's no one around, and all he is wandering through the streets of, I believe it's London. I've never been to England, but I believe it's London, and he's just wandering through, and to get them to just clear the streets at certain times of the day has got to be one of the hardest, brutal tasks to do when making a film. It's like in Phantasm. In the movie Phantasm, there's a scene where they show up in this town and there's no one there and it's completely ghost. And the director said that how they achieved that was they just showed up before all the stores opened up. And, there was no one around. They got lucky because there was sunlight, at the time. And they were like, we got the shot in one shot, and like right after that, people started to show up. So we're lucky that we got it. But that's just a small little town. To clear like a big city like London, and then there's that scene on the roadway, the street where there's no cars. I mean, that's an eerie feeling. You know, feeling like you're left alone in the world. You are the last surviving monkey, whatever you want to say. I just, it's it was a good film, man. I loved it. And the only thing I didn't like about this movie was that this movie kind of help people, you know, create that shaky camera crap. Man, I can't stand that. I understand that they had the camera set on a setting that made the camera do this when they're focusing on it, and I didn't really care for that. I'm sorry. I'm the kind of person that says, you know, let's use a steady cam. I know we're trying to get the reaction that, you know, everything's all jacked up, but I also want to see what's going on. If I can't see what's going on, then how am I supposed to be interested? That's the one fault of this movie. Other than that, this is, I would give this movie, I'd give it 8 out of 10 chainsaws. In writing, I actually, in writing it's 10, and the shaky camera thing is the one fault. So everything else gets a 10, with camera work getting about an 8. You know, I mean, writing, directing, producing, everything else is right there, right on. Stars, you know, but that was its one fault. So I'm gonna say, go see 20. If you haven't seen it, rent it. If you got the money, buy it. I've seen a lot of really cool editions out there. This was like a first gen version. This is like the first printing that came out of it. I've seen a lot of cool like tins and box sets and steel books. I'm like, man. There's one guy on the net, I think it's Bookhouse Boy 77, I think it was him, that got this in HD and wasn't really too impressed with it. So there's its ups and its downs, but I have to say, you know, 28 days later, definitely the film worth seeing. This is my opinion. I am the 13th Wolfman, and I am on the prowl.